If you've been paying an agency or a coach thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to launch a funnel and try to start generating new leads, I'm going to show you how you can launch your very own client acquisition system in under 60 minutes. Over the last 6 years, we've worked with over 2,900 clients building predictable client acquisition systems. And since then, we've been able to systemize a lot of the pieces so we can help clients get campaigns launched in under 60 minutes and honestly simplify it so they can do it themselves. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can use those systems and processes to get things launched. And without further ado, let's jump in. The first place in building any client acquisition system is building your strategy. And to build a strategy, you need to start with market research. We have our own software that we have developed using our 2,900 offers, that seeing what works, what does not work. And then we also harness AI so we can get $15,000 worth of market research done and offer consultation process and then build an end-to-end marketing strategy that we can use to simplify our copywriting, our messaging, etc., so we can launch campaigns rapidly. So the first step in this is we do our market research, and this is where we're answering questions about our business, our target demographics, our offer, and everything about our business from a fundamental perspective so we can then go do market research. This is pulling in thousands and thousands of websites, thousands of forums on places like Reddit, Quora, etc., reading reviews of your competitors, your sites, etc., so we can identify where is the market at, what is the market development in the future of that market, and also identify what is the customer through every phase of the buyer's journey going through and what are they experiencing. Once we get back our market research, we can then begin our offer consultation. So this offer consultant is trained on over 2,900 offers, and it is built using our algorithms so we can have a consultative process to extract everything about your offer, your market, what your process is, your unique mechanism, and then the offer consultant will take that information and actually guide you through the process in helping you narrow down what is your value stack, what can you upsell or downsell people into, what should your pricing be, and then at the end of it, it will create an end-to-end offer that you can then use to build your strategy around. As soon as you have your offer and you have approved this, then we can go into the strategy phase. And this is where we essentially answer more information. We submit testimonials, case studies, our benchmarks and KPIs, etc. That way the strategist can then take our offer, our market research, and the information we submit and build out a robust end-to-end strategy. And then once we're done, we'll have a strategy that is completed with everything in here. And one of the big components that I really enjoy about this strategy process is our authority and claims bank. This takes all of our case studies, all of our testimonials, and transcribes them, and then it pulls out notes or comments that happened during that testimonial, that case study, etc., that handle every objection that somebody's going to have. This is absolute gold when it comes to copywriting. Once we have our strategy completed, then we can go jump into copywriting. And we offer our clients a couple options when it comes to this. We have custom chat GPTs that are already set up, building all of our copywriting models into one. But then you can also use what my favorite is with Claude. And I'll show you kind of both examples here. So using the GPTs that we've already developed, we have the opportunity to just upload our PDF. These are already trained on updating or uploading our strategy, which I'll showcase here. And this will give us all the information in regards to that strategy and say, okay, now please write me 3 ad copies. And we can have this strategy agent go ahead, or excuse me, this copywriting agent go ahead and start the copywriting process. So from here, it's going to pull everything from that strategy and then start building out all of your ad copies. So here we can see we have a full long form ad copy that actually breaks down everything about our offer, identifies exactly what we do, how we do it, etc., and then builds out everything in that capacity with headlines, gives us different types of headline formats, and then we can keep prompting it to generate more ads for us. From there, we can jump into our video ad structure, which goes about the same process. By utilizing the strategy process this way, this gives our copywriting agents the ability to work in synchronization together and actually write really strong copy, because it's not only taking stuff from the customer journey, but it's also matching every aspect of our offer, every aspect of where the market's at in the process. And then we can use this to actually produce the copy that we need for video ads, ad copy, VSLs, funnels, etc. So in this, it's essentially saying, okay, I'll write 3 short form video ad scripts using the Conversion Leads Infinity program, which is essentially what that strategy is based on. So I'm going to say yes, proceed. And here it's going to start creating a full video ad copy for me, broken down with headlines for the upper header, which I'll show you that in the creative components once we get into that aspect. Then we have ad 2, etc. From there, we'll go into our VSL Copywriter, and this will actually write a VSL for us and give us the ability to put this in our funnel so we can convert our prospects on our actual product, our offer, etc. And as you can see here, what I'm doing is ultimately just answering yes to the questions, and now it's going to start diving into our copy. Now, in any of these aspects, the things that I like about these is it breaks down all the different sections of a VSL script. We took all of our 2,900 clients, broke down all the VSLs. We identified what converted the best, what didn't convert. We have short form and long form VSLs, which you can actually use. And it gives you the ability to then start customizing the script, right? So say you read through something in this and it doesn't make sense, like the phases don't make sense of your mechanism or your process. You can give this additional information to then start writing and refining that message that matches what fits for you. Or third, you can use Claude. And one of the things I like doing here is you could set up a project. You can do the same thing in ChatGPT, and it gives you the ability to plug in product knowledge so you can have that assist you with your copywriting process. One of the aspects that really makes powerful copy here is we have all of our copywriting documentation that we use for training. And this is our copywriting intelligence manuals, our breakthrough copywriting, our video ad, paid ad frameworks, direct response frameworks, sales frameworks, educational frameworks, etc. And then this gives all the product knowledge that we need. So when it comes to actually writing copy, that our agent will be able to facilitate in writing that copy. From here, we're going to stick with what we have created in the GPT copywriting, and we'll start plugging this in and start getting our funnel set up. When it comes to the funnel, we have mastered the VSL funnel flow. So everything from the opt-in, the VSL page, etc. And when we set this up for our clients, we give them the ability to build things out in a theme that represents and matches their company. So as you can see here, we have several modern themes. We can scroll through this. We have base themes. We have the professional style themes. You have a retro and bold themes. So these are the bold ones, elegant, and some retro ones that give everything that can match essentially your brand. And we have them in light and dark styles. For this funnel, I'm gonna go ahead and use our professional funnel, and I have this set up here. This is starting from scratch, and ultimately how I'm going to get this configured is I have my opt-in, my sales page, my application calendar, and thank you page. We also have a disqualified thank you page, and I'll explain that as I'm going through this. Additionally, we have an opt-in page builder and a sales page builder. So say the funnel's not formatted exactly the way you want to, or as you're optimizing your funnel in the future and you need to add components to it, our funnel gives us the ability to add different type of headers, different type of hero or above the fold sections. And that is exactly what we've done with these sales page builders. That gives us the ability to make sure we can accommodate and account for just about any type of customer journey, etc. So our clients are able to display the appropriate information. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump in and start editing out our funnel. One of the things I like doing is going to my VSL editor and just giving them a screenshot of what I am actually editing. And then it can then customize it because it already has the information that's getting covered within my VSL script. So I will go back to my VSL editor. I'll take the screenshot, I'll upload it in, and I'll say, this is my landing page, opt-in page, that I will be driving traffic to from Facebook ads. Please write the copy for my opt-in page. And as you can see here, it's giving me copy. I obviously don't like bullets in my copy. This is one of the areas that I think ChatGPT kind of goes overboard. So you obviously have to use this with a grain of salt. So for online coaches and consultants who want more control, that's one of the big focuses of the strategy that we developed. So we're going to go ahead and just copy and paste that in. And now we can go back and say, discover the secret to consistently book qualified clients without the networking hamster wheel in 14 days. So I don't really like the networking aspect. I do not like the networking aspect of this copy. I would like to focus on another major pain point. And here I can then use ChatGPT to start changing the copy to accommodate exactly what we're trying to achieve. So you can see here now they are focusing on needing predictable growth, discover the secret to creating a steady flow of qualified clients in just 14 days. If every month feels like blah, 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 most coaches struggle. In our 14-day validation sprint, we'll provide you with a proven offer, lock in your messaging, and launch your client acquisition system. So I'm getting good copy here. Ultimately from this, I'm not going to use all these aspects, but I'll go ahead and plug these in. And then a secret to creating a steady flow of qualified clients. So I'm going to make that bold so the color stands out in just 14 days. And then down here, I'm going to take this, plug it in our 14-day offer validation sprint. Will help you launch a proven offer, lock in your messaging, and launch a client acquisition system that fills your calendar with ideal prospects month after month. So I really like this. I'm going to remove the 14-day sprint. Actually, I'll keep that in there. But this is too bold for me, so I'm going to make this extra light. Let's try light, and then change the font height a little bit to make it more accommodating for the volume of text. Cool. So I think that looks pretty good for me. Maybe make this normal. There you go. A little bit heavier font, easier to read. And then click here to get instant access now. We will keep that. Acquire this now. We'll make the subtext. We'll keep that as the click here to get instant access. And then the call to action here, I'm going to change this a little bit to learn how to start generating qualified clients. Maybe we'll remove the learn how and we'll click start generating qualified clients. Click here to get instant access. That's great. Now what this is going to do, as we can see from this button, it's going to open a pop-up. So in my pop-up settings, we have this, where's the best place to send this? And I need to select one of my forms. So from here, I'm just going to select my opt-in form. So now I have my form here. I ultimately want to get this edited. I would like to have the white background be the same color as this pop-up and remove the name fields, and we'll make these fields a little bit lighter. So I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm going to get the color of the background of this pop-up, and I'll click edit form. Now I can go in here and start editing the form settings. And we're going to speed up this process, and you can see exactly how I'm doing this step by step. All right, so now we can see here, open our pop-up, our form looks exactly how we wanted it. We have the background color matching, so now this displays well inside the pop-up. Now from here, this will redirect to the next step, which we want to set as our VSL, or we could add a manual website URL for this example. I'm gonna set this to next step because the next step of my funnel is going to be my sales page, which will be where my VSL is. And we'll go ahead and jump into that. Now, I have a hook that was already set up in here. So I'm gonna take this same hook and go back to my VSL page. And I'm gonna say, let us build you a system to let us build you the system to get a steady flow of qualified clients in just 14 days. However, this is too high. I never like my hook being more than 3 rows. So I'm gonna make this font just a little bit smaller. There we go. And that's good. I'm gonna save this. Once I'm done with my video editing, I can add the VSL in here. And now I have on my page a bunch of options of what I can set for authority and then call to action. So in this, I want the hook. I'm gonna keep the hook the same. I'll change this actually to start generating, or let's change this real quick to scale to 100K a month. And we'll do this as a question, ready to scale to 100K a month, question mark. And then let us show you how. Get started now. We'll make this a little arrow and we're good to go. We'll change this to get started today, or we'll change this to book your strategy call. And we have those set up. Now what we have is our client testimonials. From this, you can add in any client testimonials that you have, the VSL, or excuse me, the video testimonial, etc. These are always great to add. We like having at least one on there, but if you can do 3, 4, 5 of these, that would be great for your funnel. For the sake of this is just copy and paste from our case studies. So I'm going to hold off on doing this for the sake of this video, but all you have to do in here is copy and paste the information, which we'll do one real quick, and we'll show you an example of this. So we'll go to our website, we'll pull up our case study of Peter here, and we'll take our background information, we'll add that right here, and that formatted. So I'm gonna take that, turn those off, and then we'll go to the process, we'll copy this, we'll remove the bold and italic, and then the result we will take and we will paste in here. As you can see, I don't have a lot of room for that. So this is in 2 columns. So what I'm going to ultimately do is take this, duplicate this row, and I'm going to delete this column here, and then I'm going to delete this column here. Now my video displays below all of this, and I don't have to worry about trying to cut out some of the important information. From here, I can add the client's name. So Peter, M, and his company name, Fast Conversational Spanish, and then online coach, language coach, and then the result. So we will pull the result here of 11-to-1 ROI, boom, in 30 days. And now that gives us a case study. We can take the video from here. I will take the share link that YouTube gives us, which they're not going to. So we're going to go ahead and open the YouTube video. We'll copy the URL, and here we'll paste in the URL. That'll pull in the VSL or the testimonial for us, and we will click publish. But we don't have a domain. So from here, we're going to go ahead and select one of our domains. We'll do co.conversionly.io. We'll click save. And that will give our funnel mostly set up here. There's a couple changes that we're going to make in regards to this, and I'm going to show this for illustrative purposes of making sure like we have our domains and URLs and all those things set up. So we're going to name this the 60-minute launch example. And I'm going to keep that name, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that in for my opt-in page. So this will be the 60-minute launch opt-in, and we'll update the step. And then on our sales page, we'll do the same thing, 60-minute launch. And then we don't want this to say sales page, we'll say training. And now the next things that we're going to do are going to be adding in our application. This is already preloaded into our client accounts. So from here, apply now to unlock your path to what was the dream outcome. So ultimately, please take 60 seconds to answer questions below. And then we'll change this to then you'll be redirected to the calendar to book your strategy call. Now this, I don't want so heavy, so I'm going to go back to normal. We're going to set this to 24 height. This is a little too big, so I'm going to make this 50. And now we can select our survey. We'll click a drop down here, and we will make this our application survey. And this we want to use from our survey builder. Our survey will redirect to our calendar page. And from here we can click publish. And we are good there. So that ultimately covers setting up our funnel. Then the last thing we want to do is jump in, make sure our calendar is set up correctly. So we're going to select our calendar. And from here, we have our demo calendar. And what I'm going to do is make this width 100%. And that is not the correct calendar. Let's go. There we go. And here we're going to change and achieve your goals. So what is the goal that they want? And start generating clients now. And we have this all set up. We can go ahead and click publish. And we are good to go. Now we have our opt-in page, our VSL page, our application page, and our calendar page already set up. From our sales page, I already have my VSL edited. So I'm going to go ahead and get that uploaded in. And instead of YouTube, I'm going to use a hosted video here. And we will select the video. We'll go to VSLs. And we'll do this one of Justin. And we'll select the thumbnail. Once we have the VSL. Nope. There we go. Now we have our thumbnail, and this will give us our VSL setup. We can publish and then preview this page. Make sure we have our VSL. There we go. And now we are good to go. All right. So I did notice an error. So what I want to do is go back to this where the pop-up is showing. I'm going to go ahead and just disable the pop-up because I don't have a pop-up that's necessarily needed on this page. We'll click publish, and we are good to go. All right, the next step that we're gonna take is get our creative design. So from here, we have our creative templates that our clients have access to. They can easily jump into any of these. We have carousel mechanisms, carousel case studies, authority posts. You can use the yellow sticky note. These are all funnel templates that we have used that have generated consistent performance month over month for our clients. However, I'm gonna go ahead and select a couple options here. So one, I like the phone template. I like the myths and facts. So we use these. And what I'm gonna do to get the copy for this is take a screenshot. Then I'm gonna go back to my GPT and say, here is my graphic ad. Please write the copy for me. And I'm gonna change this to just template. And ultimately what we're trying to achieve with the myths and facts is myths are the things that what they believe and facts are what actually happens. So from here, myths, only agencies can deliver consistent results, right? So we're gonna take our hook at the top here. We can adjust that. Can a client acquisition system really outperform hiring an agency? Myths, only agencies can generate results. Building your own system is too complicated, which I think this video is proving that to be wrong. And this is not a bullet point. Sometimes when you double click to highlight all, it will pull in the bullet point. So all you have to do is just hover over and select the text. And we're good to go. Okay, so now we can get this copied in. That text is a little too tall, so I'm going to go in, make this a little bit smaller. Clients see 70 to 80% of their sales process covered. There we go. And you'll see full ownership, no dependency, no ongoing retainers. Good. So now we have this set up. I can duplicate this process for all of my different placements. The two I like are square and the vertical. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and repeat this for the vertical. I don't necessarily worry about the 4x5 predominantly because that's typically covered by the 1080 by 1080 or the Reels, the story style placement. All right, so now I have both my graphics here. This covers both the square placement that's going to show up in the feeds, and we have the vertical placement, which can show up in Reels or stories, etc. If I want to change color schemes out to match my color scheme in my funnel, then all I have to do is still use my little color picker tool, and I'll choose my blue. I'll go back and I'll make the text color back to that blue, which I already have the brand color in here. And then I can go ahead and do the same thing for all of these. However, oops, I need to change the outline color. And there you go. Now I can have this branded out to my color scheme as I want. Say I want the background to match the background of my funnel. So it's branded. Come in here, grab that color, go to this, swap it out for my color, click enter. And now this looks identical to my funnel. Last change that I can make is if I want the font style to match what I have in my funnel, then all I have to do is go to my headline font, which is Poppins. And then in here, I can go in and type Poppins. And we'll set this to black because that's what's used in the funnel, or excuse me, extra bold. There you go. And now this is set up and we can do the same thing with this one as well. All right, now that I have these two graphics, I'm gonna go ahead and download these one by one. So we'll take the first and third page, we'll click done and download. All right, now that I have these downloaded, what I wanna do is go over to our ad account and get our pixel set up inside of the funnel and then set up our standard event code. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go find our pixel, we'll go to the data source and we will grab our pixel code and we will select the meta pixel. We'll click setup and then manually add the code to our website. We'll get started. And from here, we have our code. So now we can go back to the funnel editor, go to our settings, and we can paste in our funnel code here. Additionally, I want to get our Infinity pixel set up as well. So what we're going to do is head over to our Infinity login. We'll grab our Infinity pixel. We'll also get that installed inside the funnel, and that will give us the ability to save. Once we have our pixels installed, the next thing that we want to do is set up our conversion tracking. So the conversion tracking is just looking up the Facebook standard event codes, and then we can go to the top URL here for specifications for megapixel standard events, and then Facebook will give you the event codes for all their standard events. So the first one that I want to have is lead. This is going to be everybody that opts in through my opt-in page. After they opt in, they go to my sales page or VSL page. I want to add the tracking code here. So I'm going to type in a script bracket, paste that in, and then close out the script. Now, every time somebody lands on this page, Facebook's going to track a lead. I'll click publish. Then I'll go back to the specifications and I'll grab my submit application. And then anytime somebody submits an application, they're going to land on my calendar page. So from here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a script, submit application, and then close out the script. So you'll see in this, I have a script where it's a less than and greater than sign with the word script. Same thing here, but I use a closeout bracket. So this is essentially a backslash. This closes the script tag. That's what we're putting in there. We'll click save and publish. And then the last event that I need to grab is my schedule event. And this is what happens when somebody books an appointment. So we'll go to the thank you page, go to the tracking code, and we'll add in our script tags here. And we'll click save. Then you can see here we have on our scheduling page, this is typically up to clients at their discretion. If they want to have a video, we recommend putting it in. This is just a simple video that indoctrinates our clients on the process. So for us, I'm going to go to our channel, and then we have our indoctrination video right here. So what I'm going to do is pull our share code. But I'm going to go ahead and swap this video out. And we'll click publish. And now we have our thank you page completely set up. We have our standard event tracking set up, and we're good to go. So now we have our graphics, we have our creative, we have our pixel set up and installed, we have our copywriting done for our ads, and all we have to do at this point is go in and launch our campaigns. Obviously, you can create more ads, you can do more things, but for the illustration of this video, I want to show you how easy this is to do. All right, so now that we have this, we are going to create a campaign, and we are going to set up a leads campaign. And inside our leads campaign, we'll set our budget. I want to run an ad set budget or a campaign budget. So the difference between the two is a campaign budget optimizes at the campaign level. At the ad set level, each ad set optimizes. When I'm going through my testing, ultimately what I want to do is rapidly test what audience is going to perform and what offer is going to be validated. Therefore, I want equal distribution across all offers. So I'm going to set ad set budget, and then I'm going to name my campaign, and this is going to be the infinity. And then from here, I'm going to do my problems and needs offer testing. And I will do round 1, and I will put in today's date, which is 8/10/25. Then from here, I'm going to move on to the ad set level. This is going to give me the ability to test audiences. So the first audience that I want to test is broad. So I'm going to go problems and needs offer testing, broad, advantage plus audience. And I'm going to change this to website because I'm driving traffic to my funnel. And from here, I'm going to select my data set and then my conversion event. So I have the lead conversion event that I am optimizing for. This is going to ask me to set up my pixel. I've already done that to set up my conversions. From here, I'm going to set my budget at whatever my threshold is. Typically, if I'm testing, I want to get testing done as quickly as possible. So I'm going to put in a little bit more budget. So I'm going to go into $30 to $50 a day on each individual ad set. However, you could go this down to $10 a day. We're not worrying about trying to exit learning at this phase. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is optimize our testing. From this, I'm going to leave everything open to the Advantage Plus. I'm not going to change anything. That's going to give Facebook's algorithm the ability to test as much as they want. So here I have my myths versus truth ad 1. I'm going to set my date to 8/10/25 and then offer test. So from here, I can go in and start adding my ads. I'm going to make sure I have conversionly selected. We have our threads profile, and I can start setting up my ads. The first thing I need to do is add my website URL. So I'm going to send traffic to my opt-in page. So I'm going to grab that opt-in URL, and we're going to go back to Facebook, and we're going to set that URL in. I don't want that full URL displayed, so I'm just going to type in conversionly.io as the display link. And then next, I'm going to start adding my creative. I'm going to do an image ad. So from here, the creative setup, you have all these extensions, everything. This is for Facebook to represent your brand with AI so they can start generating things with AI. I'm not going to do that. My site links, this is going to pull directly from my URL. I can leave this on. This will help optimize my ads. The next thing that I'm going to do is upload my creative. Now that I have this uploaded, it will start processing, and I'm going to upload my other version as well while I'm here. And I'm going to grab my 1080 by 1080. And now I have the ability to change out the vertical. So I'm going to replace the vertical with the vertical option. And then the horizontal, I'm going to leave as a square. The only horizontal placements that you have is the right column. That really isn't necessary. You don't have to optimize for it. So I leave those out and I click next. And now I can add in my copy. So if you remember the first copy that we did, everything was listed out here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my AI copywriter. Gave me my primary text. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. And what I'm going to do is just double check this, make sure this flows well and the spacing looks good. Everything seems to be good. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I can have text variations. So this is going to be AI automatically generating options. I'm going to apply all three. I think Facebook's AI copywriting is pretty good. And they have really good titles as well. However, I'm going to choose my favorite title from here. Stop starting calls at 0. Own a client acquisition that compounds. That one looks really good. So I'm going to set that as my headline. And then I'm going to apply the 4 that Facebook gives me. Description, I'm going to leave empty because that never gets displayed. The image optimization. You can leave this on if you want to. However, I skip it. I don't like using the AI optimizations and I don't like using these options. So I'm going to turn all these off. All I'm trying to do at this point with my images or my ads is I'm trying to test my offer. I don't need them to go optimize the creative. I'm not going to be running these for months over months. I'm ultimately running these to test and see which offer does the market respond to. And then from there, I'm going to build more creative, more context around so I can rapidly enhance the process rather than trying to be perfect right out the gate. Now that I have this set up, I'm going to go ahead and get my URL set up and I'm going to get my UTM parameters added in. I'm going to add in my UTM parameters here. This is going to make sure that as somebody clicks on the ad, everything is tracked. All the forms that we set up with our clients, when they install the templates, it automatically tracks what's the source, the UTM medium, the term, the content, etc. This stuff is automatically pulled directly from Facebook. So all you have to do is copy in the code that we give you. But from there, now I have this ad set up. I can click publish and Facebook will go through and publish the ad. Ultimately, as you can see here, this is not that difficult to get a client acquisition system already up and running. Our clients already come with a pre-installed system. So everything from nurture sequences, AI setters, etc., that already comes installed. We give a full template theme library that gives our clients the ability to build any funnel they want. And as you can see, it's very quick to edit, optimize, set things up. What our objective is for our clients is to do a rapid fire optimization testing process, which means minimum sellable product. What's the minimum thing we need to start driving conversions? Once we have that in place, then we can turn around and start optimizing the messaging, optimizing the ads, optimizing the lead quality, and have metrics and systems in place that do that incrementally and do it as quickly as possible so you start generating sales as quickly as possible rather than dragging things out months over months, reaching for perfectionism. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And without further ado, I look forward to helping you on the other side.